So I gotta set some things up and then I will start. Oof. Hello, hello. Oh man, I'm waiting for a couple of people to join and then we have a lot of things to discuss. I have a few good news about it. Oh boy. Well, today I finished my exams, finally, after all this time. Yo, what's up? I'm testing Crystron Azamina Castira still, and I am testing the Radiant Typhoon engine. The deck is so fun to play. Crystal Inclusion to 3, let's go. I mean, I guess I'm happy for you, no? Can you hear me well? By the way, it's the first time I streamed in a long time, and yeah, lots of things happened. It seems like everyone is putting MSTs on their decks. Honestly, I thought after seeing Gal's video, putting a small Radiant Typhoon engine, mainly for the MST, on branded, but I'm not sure. I mean, Radiant is a free Cherubini. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you can play. But how big of a package do you play? Because you have to play like the two small ones. I'm guessing 3 chant, 1 MST. This could be good. 3 chant, 3 MST. Yeah. So chant for Eldam. Eldam search. What's it called? The Swen. Swen search MST and then make Cherubini and then full combo, right? That's interesting for sure. The question is why Crystal? Technically, if you really think about it, you can do full because I love the deck, fair enough. You can do full Malice combo with one Eldam. Eldam, Swen, Swen search the Reborn. Cherubini send the shit card and then revive something, make SP. I played the deck almost 1 year non-stop. I'll fill you in on a little secret. If you know Biscotto, he was also playing Crystron for a long time. He did not enjoy that so much. One thing that we're gonna do on the channel, starting this week, is gonna be a new podcast, if you saw. And basically, basically we're gonna invite a few people and we're gonna discuss about some different things about the meta, some different ideas. I have a few people in mind that specialize on either specific decks or that they have a lot of experience and a lot of tops, so we're gonna put them on the channel basically and listen to their ideas and have cool discussions. It's something that I wanted to do. So now all I need is to find a few people. I just picked Lunalite, Biscotto fanboy, and pick up Gemini too. In fact, I think we're gonna have a podcast with Biscotto discussing Lunalite in Burst Protocol meta because it's a very interesting deck. And yeah, we will listen to what he's gonna say. We're gonna have it on the channel pretty soon. We talked today about it. We just need to find a few days or hours that we can work on. Thoughts on Fur higher post Burst Protocol? To be honest, I think it's dog shit, but it's still too early to tell. It does have some cool lines under Charmy that you can draw as well when the opponent draws. I don't know really what the cards do. I know kind of what they do. I also know the new Dino TCG archetype is also pretty cool, I think, because of the new fusion spell. But yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, I only played against one Furhar player, and you don't have to know what the deck does in order to beat it. You just read the rain board and the cards they have in the graveyard, and if you can play around them, then it's pretty easy to beat. I want to play Branded, but Fallen of White is 60 euros. Yeah, fuck me, I guess. I have to buy 3 of them, and I have to buy 3 Spoon and 1 Ecclesia. Ecclesia Synchro is also 30 euros on pre-release. I just hope they will not increase in price and just hopefully decrease a tiny bit, because I will start off with 2 Fallen and 1 Ecclesia to play pure Branded and Dragontail Branded. But because I wanna play, I will show you. I wanna play this list. I think this is the best list by far. And yeah, as you see, this is a lot of money. A lot of money. I had saved a lot of money, but unfortunately my dog got really fucking sick, and I had to spend all of that to save him basically. Bro is cooking? No, I'm not. This is pack. Like 90% of this is pack. All I did was do a few minor adjustments to fit the hand traps that I want, and then I changed the extra deck a tiny bit. What's the trap card in the side deck? My friend. This is Magic Deflector. I think you're gonna see it a lot more often. I was playing it in YSS Bologna 24, actually, because this was a card that no one knew, that instantly beats Tenpai and Yubel, because it gets rid of field spells, equip, continues. Basically, the thing is quick play and field spell, and continues against Yubel at that time. So, obviously the idea is the hardest matchup is probably gonna be Radiant Typhoon due to all the MSTs, so if you can put a Magic Deflector, then you can basically win. There is also the Fiend card, which you can send, this one. You can send it with Gregignol on the Branded build, and then revive it with Albion. Obviously they're gonna have a few ways to prevent you from doing that, but since you also play Fallen Virtues, then if they droplet your Sanctifier, then you can Fallen Virtues to put back Invader of Darkness, and basically you have an insta win against Radiant Typhoon. I'm pretty sure DB Grinder also showed a few videos with those cards. Invader of Darkness is a fiend, so if somehow we see um, like Fiendsmith coming back, you can send it off with Area Litter, summon it back with a Macracker or a Yama. Obviously, with Fallen and Albion, it is pretty good. In my branded deck, I also I play both of them because this is searchable with Thrust and this is searchable with Ecclesia. Now, I don't like lock monsters like Christia and um, what's it called Ido because these are very easily outable in this meta. You have 3 crown, 3 droplet, 3 fallen virtues, and then a lot of draw spells. So they can be outed very easily. Um, Against Dragon Tail, you do have a harder matchup, but you mainly focus on your resources because most likely they cannot OTK you. And if you play the resource matchup correctly and you put this on the board, which is unaffected with 35 attack, it is pretty hard to out. And then you can play correctly with your Beastal and your Albers and Super Polish, obviously. Which I might change for Droplet and then put Super Polish in the side deck. The thing is, I really like Super Poly because the way I use it, I don't shotgun it like most people do. I try to play with the small stuff and then I use it to dodge. And the spell speed 4 quality of the card makes it so you can guarantee to resolve some change. For example, if they have a basic, let's say, Radiant Typhoon endboard, right? And you play Guard Dragon, which I don't at the moment, but I might change Light and Darkness for Guard Dragon, for Mad Dragon, or something like this. I think I don't change Brigand because I like Brigand. But let's say you play against Radiant Typhoon, right? And you play Brand. If you activate Brand Fusion and they chain MST and you have Super Poly, you can change Super Poly to the MST before they activate the trap card. So they lose 1 MST, which equals losing Quantum Negate, and then you can take out the monster negate they have on the field, you can take out their Phonics, the Link 2, all of this stuff. So you resolve your Brand Fusion, which should be an auto win. You waste 1 MST, potentially 2 if they want to negate the monster that you summon from Brand Fusion by popping one of their cards, most likely the trap card. So you get rid of the trap, you get rid of 2 MSTs, you can get rid of 2 monsters on board with just 2.5 cards. I think I need to find a way to put Purulias in the main, to be honest. Because I think 6 armies in this list is amazing. Because they cannot push into the Charmy, and if they do, then they get hit with 100 board breakers. You may already explained. No, I didn't. But I will explain why 2 high spirits. And 2 high spirits is okay, it's normal if you don't want to play 3. What you should be asking is why 1 opening? And I will explain. The idea is basically the same. What I noticed while playing the deck and facing the deck actually in Burst Protocol meta is that the engines are way stronger right now. And most engines can push through a board. Like we see Radiant Typhoon engine. A Radiant Typhoon engine, if played correctly and if given 1 or 2 correct cards, they can really easily break an average Dragon Tail endboard, especially if they don't play the Magicius. If they play Brandy Dragon Tail, Radiant Typhoon has really easy way of beating the endboard. Same goes for Dragon Tail. Dragon Tail, we know that they have good ways to break endboards. They have a lot of good engine cards. So they can push through the engine, through the endboard without needing hand traps. And this is a common thing you will see a lot, I think, in Burst Protocol meta. This is also why Radiant Typhoon does not play hand traps normally, other than Charmies. So what matters now in this engine war is how much cards you have access to. And cards like High Spirits and Brand Opening discard cards. And this is something you generally don't want. you wanna play with the resources, you wanna play with the advantage. Because every game that I played in Burst Protocol meta, no matter what deck I was playing, I was winning no matter the end board if I had more cards than my opponent. And this is actually why I also play Allure of Darkness in this list. This is why I play Mercurier, this is why I main Magnamut. Also Magnamut searches Fallen of the White Dragon, which is an engine piece, a monster engine piece that is so good. Because you get a lot of pushes with that card. Now, High Spirits, while it is very good, if you don't open Saronir or Albion, it's not the best because you have to discard. And this is not something you would wanna do, because in your combo, if you wanna do the full board, or if you get interrupted, you have to waste some other cards from your hand to either play through the hand traps or to discard from Lubellion and stuff like that. So, in general, you don't want to discard cards. That's why I also play one opening, because in my testing hands when I was playing 3, I noticed that when I was opening, when I opened opening, I couldn't play through much hand traps and I couldn't play second that well. That's why this build is more focused on a heavy engine, like one card gets you a value of 2 cards or 3 cards, so that's why I play something like this. That's also why I like Super Poly instead of Droplet, because Super Poly in some scenarios, if you go to a Chain Link War, you can basically end the chain with Super Poly because it's a spell speed 4 that cannot be interrupted in a way that you would want, and cannot be interacted that easily. Also, it's a very good out to Secretarian Dragon, and you can make one of your own against the Dragon Tail. If they play Magistus and they in the end on Zoroa plus whatever dragon, even the Secretarian, you can Super Poly them both away, which are 2 very good interruptions they have on their end board, and put your Secretarian, which is very good. Another thing is the banishment is also for that reason. Now, in Burst Protocol meta, I don't think you shotgun the banishment to go LAD, because we see a lot of Fallen Virtues, and you use this for the Super Poly effect. So you wanna summon a Quem, an Aluber, a Mirror Jet back, and then Super Poly the opponent's board in order to fusion summon into like a Secretarian, and not shotgun LAD. Now you will say why LAD is there. So LAD is there because a lot of people tend to play evenly and such stuff, and if somehow like I don't play Sanctifier, I could be swapping Sanctifier for Light and Darkness. It is something I will try, but I think for now Light and Darkness has performed better in this build, and also it can revive a dragon when destroyed. So even if they do negate it somehow, then they still have to deal with the pop effect with when destroyed trigger to summon a dragon back, which can be a Fallen, into an Ecclesia, into an Albaz, into Super Poly. Or you can summon back a Magnamut, a dragon from the graveyard, etc. etc. Also, in this build, you end your turn generally with 3 Fusions Mastered in the graveyard, not 2, with the old combos we're doing. So that's why I also play Brigand to add a Mercurier. Now, you could argue that instead of Brigand, you could add the second Dogma for better follow-up and better grind game, and for the end board. The thing is that Dogma is there mainly for the Super Poly effect in this list, because everything that Dogma does, Brigand does it better on the graveyard, and it's also something that cannot be destroyed by battle, so it gives you that extra flexibility on your end board and situations. Because the main thing in Burst Protocol meta is to reach main phase 2. If you don't get OTK'd, if you have enough resources, then you can still win, and most likely you will win with the resources. So Brigand also has the effect that special summons the Albaz, not just adding it, while the Dogma doesn't. So it's an extra Titanic Lad if you want, but Titanic Lad can summon a Quem, which then after Brigand resolves and summon the Albaz, then you can trigger both Quem and Albaz, and then with just the graveyard effects you can break the endboard of the opponent that has to waste cards to negate your own. So this is how you play the deck post Burst Protocol. I will make a video about it. We will show a couple of builds, and I will also have Vasilis come to the channel again. If you remember the last video, if you were subscribed, it went to my most popular video actually on the channel with Vasilis coaching after the Structure deck got released. So we're gonna fix Brand even more. I got the main idea of this list from, I don't remember the name, it's a popular player on DB that was playing Branded, and he was winning every game by not dying. But the thing is that his sideboard kinda sucked. It sucked really bad, and he was playing hand traps. Oh, this is another reason why I don't play hand traps. If you remember what I said about the discard thing, Branded is generally not a deck that can easily go into a hand trap core with the opponent. Because yes, you do have some hands that you can just top deck a Brand Fusion, and if they don't have more hand traps, you can do full combo. Same goes for Brand in White, or the Fall and the White Albas. But it's not generally a thing you wanna do, because the endboards, yes, they are very strong in Burst Protocol, but your engine is also strong enough to break it. So you amplify this with board breakers and power spells like Thrust that gets you into Brand Fusion, into a deployment, into a Brand White, Allure of Darkness if you have Mercurier, which can get you 2 new cards plus a Fallen of the White Dragon, or Albion if you already pushed with the White Dragon, which can send also an Ecclesia to the graveyard, which is also another piece of board breaking. So yeah, you don't wanna discard cards, you don't wanna lose the advantage, because hand traps are not the greatest actually, because the engines are strong enough to push through hand traps if you open them. If you open 2 engine pieces in Dragon Tail, you most likely will be able to push through 2 non-Mulcharmy hand traps. So that's why I think only the Charmies, as Blossom for the Charmies, are good enough hand traps. Veiler, Bell are very low impact. Droll and Nibiru are kinda mid, they don't always work. It also depends on the build and the opponent you're playing. So yeah, this is my approach. Also, a Toot of the Branded is also kinda strong, because what you can do in your combo, if you already have Lost or if you don't wanna set up Lost, is you can do this with Albion, with Lubellion. After you are locked with Brand Fusion, you can synchron your opponent's turn into the Ecclesia, which is a very good endboard piece, both for the effect on the field and the fact that it also returns every end phase, and on the graveyard effect. So it is a very good grind piece, and it's also a very very good floodgate for the opponent, because it's a Macrocosmos for them. And against Dragontail, if you put a Toad and you have a Bestial which you can protect, then it's amazing. That's why you also play a bit of higher amount of Bestials, even if they pop your Rebellion with something like a Fallen Virtus. The moment they try to fusion summon, you can activate Fallen Virtus to revive a Bestial like Saronir, which you most likely used with the High Spirits, to summon back Saronir, have a Bestial on board, so now you can get the Macrocosmos effect. Dragontail does nothing against Macrocosmos. And keep in mind they also have to beat a Mirror Jade, a Banishment or Retribution, an Ecclesia, into a Fallen of Albaz, into a Secretarion, Proskinion, Dogma, all of this stuff. That's why I think this list is the way to play Branded. But yeah, I felt really comfortable when I played this. I felt the ratios were really fine. Kit is there for the for one combo with Quem, that after you set up a Toad, then you can synchron your opponent's turn into Ecclesia, which is pretty busted. So yeah, this is my theory behind the deck. I'm really comfortable with it, to be honest. Any questions? You can ask me questions about any deck, by the way. Let's watch this match. But yeah, I feel Burst Protocol is a very interesting format. I don't know if this will keep up after the Blazing, whatever it's called, Dominion, I think. Blazing something. I hope it does. I am kind of afraid that they give a lot of cards to a lot of decks, and they can be good right away. So that's kind of scary. But yeah, Burst Protocol is a very, very fun format to play, and I think this ban list was good enough to make it a fun format. Although some cards were indeed missing, like Fissure, Shifter. These cards should not really exist. But yeah, I feel like we're gonna have a fun format for sure. And it's actually the only format after Justice Hunters that I will actually put effort in. I really didn't like not Duad. What was it called? Dude? Yeah, I didn't like Dude format at all. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like it was my thing. Although I did really like Justice Hunters format. I think the only thing that was bad in Justice Hunters was Paradise Smasher, for obvious reasons. But other than that, I felt like it was a really good format. That's why I put a lot of effort into that. And I will also do the same on Burst Protocol. It's just unlucky that I will not participate in a YCS or in a big tournament. In that format, it will just be locals and some online things. But hopefully the content will be good. Why the fuck are you playing with Surugi, bro? I also really wanna play the new Shadows when they release. It will be very fun. It is actually my first ever fusion deck. Yeah, they are really fun. I don't think they're that good, especially against Dragon Tail. But yeah, winda is winda. How do you guys feel about Burst Protocol? Are you as excited? I also might. I will try to text Galzo to see if he wants to participate in the podcast. It was actually the first guy I had in mind for it, because I would really like to hear his take on some specific questions. We'll see. What the fuck, dude? I wanna show you a quick game I played. It was really good. To showcase why I really like my Majestus branded list. I didn't get the chance to show that much of the synergy between the engines. But yeah. I think it will be a cool replay. So I'm against Radiant Typhoon, right? Radiant Typhoon is a very interesting matchup for any deck. I don't think they are unfair. I think generally the endboards, yes, are really strong, but the decks themselves, by their engines, I don't think they are unfair. Um, so yeah, here I am hit against Purulia. I should probably normal summon the Fallen to not get locked, but I thought if I get interrupted somehow, then I get the Albion effect. Although I do already have a Fallen Virtus, so I don't know if that was worth. But yeah. So I go Zoroa here, Artemis, Spoon. Yeah. Spoon into Crowley, Crowley Summon. Here he activates Fuga, and you will say why didn't call by the Purulia. Is that exact reason. I was playing around Fuga because I know this combo, yes, it does play into Purulia, and you do give 2 draws, but you give more draws into Fuga, and generally it's what I said in previously. Radiant Typhoon does not play hand traps other than charms, so you know you will resolve your combo, and you just have to play through the board breakers. So Fuga is far more dangerous, giving him like 3 or 4 draws, or giving him 1 to 2 draws with a mediocre endboard. And I can give the exact same amount of draws into Purulia and have the best endboard I can. This is also very nice because if he does play hand traps the way I played it, if he bells Zora for some reason, for example, I can Fallen Virtus pop my Omega, summon a Lucius. If he has Veiler, then I can dodge with Fallen at any time. So from here I can basically do full combo. So I equip Omega to Lucius, I equip with Zoroa to make Chorozo. Chorozo is a level 4 tuner, which is very good, and I can summon Ecclesia that way. So Cartesia will fuse. The reason I do all this is to play around Nibiru a bit, because against Magistus, some people will think that Nibiru is good. So by activating Cartesia here, I get 2 draws from Arthalion, and then I also get I can play around. If he Nibiru's, then I can send 5 mana, fuse, ban, and this to get some traps in rotation. So I add Lucius, which hasn't been used yet because it was used as a synchro material, which is very important. Pan is there for next turn to have a next turn interruption. I am locked from the Albas, so I can't go for Gulamel, I have to go for Arthalion, set traps, Urgula get back my 5 mana. And because I have Horn in hand, then I can also set Ketu to get an Urgula on the next turn, and Urgula is pretty good against Radiant Typhoon. Keep in mind that since I scooped without showing him what I play, and I play 42 cards, which is not very normal for Dragon Tail, I have the ability to be able to side, and he doesn't know exactly what to side against. Against Radiant Typhoon, I think you always have to negate the first spell, especially if it's the draw card. Because if they have the MST, then you are never resolving this, and if they don't, then you give them more ways to get into the MST. I keep the Fallen Virtus in hand to keep more unknowns. This was basically 1 card combo. So I do try to flame. Thankfully, it's Fallen Virtus, which is very good for me, because that means he cannot pop one of my things, especially Ecclesia, which I need on board. And then yeah, that basically, and he doesn't reset from Vision getting popped by MST. Isn't the extra deck of the Magistus build kinda impossible? How many extra Magistus equips do you think you need? I had that problem for a while. The thing is that I think you need to run some branded fusions in your extra deck, especially Alba Lenatus, and it does make your Fallen and Ecclesia a bit better. So yeah, I think these are mandatory and they can bridge with each other very good. Now for the equips, you realistically only need 1 fusion monster to equip if you don't play the Xyz on the main extra deck. I side the Xyz for going against backroad decks that can basically defissure me. So I have kind of an MST for the fissure matchup, but you don't need more than Omega. Chorozo is there Chorozo, I like Chorozo more than Iowas because I haven't really used Iowas. And Chorozo can bridge through from Dragontail to Magistus and Branded, and you only need this Artemis, Zoroa, or the other Zoroa fusion, and any generic Magistus to equip. So I like Chorozo more than I was, and on your spoon combo, on your one card spoon combo, you equip Chorozo and then you're fine. You don't need to worry about anything else in your combos. And yeah, there was no chance he was beating my endboard. We go into game 3, he does have Ash Blossom plus full combo. It's nice that he discarded this to Reborn with Elation, although it does play really bad into a Bell. If I had Bell there, he would have to Fallen versus his own monster. Now he does add MST. So no Iowas. Okay, I was playing Iowas and 2 Arthalions, but I think the third Arthalion is better than the Iowas, because I needed the third Arthalion more than I needed the Iowas in my games, and I have played a lot of games in this format. So I think Iowas is not that necessary. The only thing is there is if you break with Spoon and you have 5 mana, let's say, and nothing else, then you can kind of combo because you use the Spellcaster, but this list is not built to brick. Okay, you play 3 Fallen of the White Dragon, you play 3 Spoon, you play Zoroa, which Zoroa, if you have another level 4 Spellcaster, you can bridge into the full combo. You have 1 Ketu, 3 Rahu, 3 Lucias, 1 Mululu, you have the Ecclesia, which is also pretty good, you have the Cartesia, which can basically, if you open the bad Dragon Tails, you can combo. So the only realistic scenario for you to play Iowas is not realistic enough. It's not mathematically realistic. You have to play for the 9 out of the 10 games. You don't play for the 1 out of the 10. Yes, sometimes you will miss it and it will suck, but if you are getting used to how you use the resources with the monsters you put in your extra deck, then I don't think you will miss it at all. And I think the only times I made the Iowas, I was already winning and I just wanted to showcase the Iowas. I think I agree, I played the deck and I struggled a lot with my extra deck, lost games because I didn't have stuff to make. Yes, that's also why I also played Chaos Tarsus, because you need Chaos Tarsus. I think you need the pop effect more than you need the steal effect that doesn't come up that often. Here my opponent plays really hard to make Totem Bird and doesn't save an MST, which I think is a mistake, because not having the MST in rotation makes your birds like way worse. And yes, he can trigger them with Fallen Virtues, but I don't think it was that worth just to make a Totem Bird, because Totem Bird is okay, it's very good, but first of all it negates activations, and second of all, I can beat over it, and you will see. So I draw Cartesia, which is an amazing draw because it's an extender, because I will have this on board for sure, and then I can summon the Cartesia, and I have Hymena Lucias. So I know this, and I'm pretty sure he has that in hand. So I know that if he tries to pop my Lucias, then I can send Hymena or Cartesia to still make full combo and waste one of his thing. So I go Fallen, dump Albion. This could be a mistake. I could have started with Lucias, but I was thinking this was MST for sure. Yeah, because in my eyes, the only thing that made sense for him to make that endboard is to have MST as a last card. So he had Swain, and he wants to go Phoenix. Oh, he wants to go Radiant Typhoon Vibrant. So I go Ecclesia. Now, I don't activate the Ecclesia because I wasn't sure if that card is Forbidden Crown or Droplet. And if that was Droplet, I would like him to use it on damage step here. So I wouldn't activate the Ecclesia and would get the same result. And the Ecclesia forces the negate of this as well, because of the graveyard effect, basically. Because I have Albion. Um, so just one card can push through 3 interruptions, basically, or 2. And I haven't used my normal summon yet. Yes, I did use my battle phase, and yes, he did trigger a lot of things, but now he has no spell card in rotation. I have Ecclesia that I forced instantly the Varun. I can play with my monsters, because now the Magistus branded version of this deck plays with monsters way more than the typical lists. And I'm pretty sure one Totem Bird is nothing. I know that he wants to protect it as much as possible because he thinks I have a lot of spells in hand. Because generally people think Dragon Tail is a spells deck. But the reality of it is you can basically do full combo without using your spells. Or you have to use at least a maximum 1 spell. So he does has Blossom Lucius, which, okay, it is kinda weird because I have Cartesian board, so if I really want to, I can go make Arthalion, bounce your Totem Bird, set Ketu, and then do Ketu. Plus, it's a synchro, and I play Magistus, so I can do this line, and I can equip the Xyz, which makes Totem Bird useless, and then I can also pop Mandate. Now, he's left with 1 card in hand, which I know, and I still have 3 unknowns for him, which is crazy. I haven't used Cartesia effect. I was thinking maybe use it if he draws Nibiru with the trap card. But I still have a Fallen Virtues if he Nibirus to summon back my Ecclesia or Lucius. And I would still have an Albion set another Fallen Virtues for next turn. So I don't think I'm in a bad spot, so I go Artemis. Here I noticed that I didn't add this turn. I don't know why I played around roll, because I know his last card, but I was so tunnel focused. I don't know why. I should have gone for Spoon, 100%. So yeah, I should have gone Spoon there, and it actually will make a difference, because Spoon would give me an extra equip, which I can equip a fusion to Zoroa to basically prevent him from activating Albion in the end phase. Thankfully in this game it doesn't make a difference, but it very well could. But to be fair, if he played that correctly and he drew with Mandate, then there was a chance to draw Droll. So if we pretend that he drew on Chain of Artemis, then I would do the Crowley line to play around Droll, because all I need in this turn is just 1 search of Artemis, nothing more. So if we pretend that he drew on his draw phase or whatever, or as he should on Artemis or whatever, then my line was correct. So what I do is special summon the Ecclesia, which I have not used the field effect, because it was popped with Fallen Virtues, which I played around that by attacking first. So now I can summon the Cartesia, which also I haven't used the effect, and then make Arthalion, which is very, very good. And all of that happened with 3 cards, by the way. I broke the full board with 3 cards, and I still have way more engine to play with. Here, yes, this is illegal. Gulamel shouldn't be here. But to be honest with you, it doesn't change that much, because I could still make Chaos Tarsos with the Arthalion and the thing that I will add, and basically do the same thing. Here I should probably not use Rahu here, but Ketu for either Chaos Tarsos or Secretarian. So this is illegal, yes, but it doesn't make that much difference. I could just make Starsource and have the exact same thing to just pop 1 card. Also, Urgula pops a Mandate, but we got that a bit later. Secretarian and then Pan. Pan pop the other thing that scares me, which are the big bodies on the field, and I can add Lucius. I also have a Secretarian. I decided to summon back Cartesia here, because in this game I was playing Iowas. So if he managed somehow to push with 3 cards through my end board, I could make Iowas and then steal his monster. But yeah, if I added Spoon here, I could basically equip Zoroa with a fusion monster, like the Omega, and then he would be unable to activate Albion. In hindsight, maybe I should have done that, but I think it's fine. I have 3 sets, I have a full endboard, I have Ecclesia come to my hand, and yeah. Also, he doesn't have Mandate, which we noticed a bit later. So he activates Fallen Virtues to pop Cartesia. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think he was just losing anyway. So Flame to pop his monster and negate the spell. And I still have Ecclesia. This protects me from a link to Spellcaster. So I make Arthalion here and Lucius at Crowley. Crowley will summon Zoroa. Zoroa is eventually 2 monster negates. 1 on his turn, 1 on my turn. Yeah, he cannot activate the win. I caught it a bit later. But yeah. I still had 4 cards in hand. Recycle everything. Fallen and Virtues. Ecclesia on the end step. A monster negate. Cartesia 5 mana with Thurgula. Into Arthalion bounce. Gulamel Arthalion in the graveyard. And yeah. I think. And I pushed the endboard with only engine. With just 2 cards. So that's why I think this list is the best. It is very, very good. The engine is very powerful. The hand wraps is all you need. You just want the Charmies and the Ash Blossom to save you from the Charmies, and then you can pretty much win the meta matchups with just these hand wraps. I don't think you need more. The Brand Infusion and Fallen Virtues also work as a going second tool. They are very, very strong cards going second. So yeah, I think this list is very, very powerful. I got inspired by Pac a lot. When I saw him playing Magistus with Branded, I kinda tried to reverse engineer the list. One change I would make is I could potentially try to play Gamma and Delta instead of, like, Nibiru. I haven't used that much, so I could do something like this, I think. Yeah, this is probably fine. Or you can also, like, take out the Pancratops entirely, because when you go second, you save Delta for the what's called Diffusor. So you can just put these and then have an extra Albion for going first. This is also pretty fine. And you side out the 3 Charms for Albions, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 you take out the Purulia. If you play against Radiant, you take out Magnamut. If you play against the Mirror Match, you can take out a Spoon, which doesn't really matter, or Fallen Virtues. So yeah, that is the deck post Burst Protocol. I'm really excited to try it out, to be honest. Can you run one? You can run over 2 Ligers. Yeah. You can. Oh, that's correct. Without Aguas, that's why I was playing Aguas. Yeah. Actually, you have to play Aguas. You are correct. Yeah. What do you take out though? Yeah, I guess we go back on this. Yeah, you are right. You have to. I mean, you can take out Sorozo, or you can do this against Liger. You can put this on the side deck and have these. And depending on how good Vanquisol is, you can also have the Xyz on the side deck against K9. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. Like, you can do something like this, or you can take out a Delta or Albion. No, I don't think you can take out one Albion. Yeah, actually you can. I think you can take out one of these and have this, which seems weird for sure, but this kinda plays around everything that you wanna play. Against Liger, I guess you do have a weaker game 1, but yeah, I guess you can just push through the endboard with just engine in game 2 and 3. In game 2 you go first, they can never win you. And then game 3, they are not the type of deck that plays auto win cards against Dragon Tail. They cannot play shifter cards in this deck. So with just the engine, you can just force out all the back row they have with Urgula and Gulamel and stuff like that. And then when you try to go for Zora, then you can equip your Iowas and attack over the Lagers. Also, you can try to force Omega. So when you do Omega, then you can summon a spellcaster and then equip it, gain 1000 attack, then activate Spoon to equip the second thing, and then, for example, Lucius will be 38, which kills Liger. Yeah, I'm not seeing something else. I think Lunalight, if you play Awas, obviously they can never kill you. And you can beat the two Ligers, I think. Yo, Ify. Long time no see, man. Oh, mate. These weeks have been the worst for me, to be honest. I haven't slept well. I haven't eaten very much. Flanced against George from Ignite SG. Who the fuck is George? Stiliades. George Steele, you mean? Geo Steele. He says knows you. Yes, he probably does. Which one? Which George was he? And how? Yeah, obviously he is Greek, bro. We have like, do you know how common of a name George is in Greece? Do you know? Like half of Greece is called George. By saying the Greek guy named George knows me, doesn't really narrow it down. Just letting you know. You wanna try again? Maybe tell me the DB name. Or I don't know, his last name or whatever. Because George from Greece doesn't really help me. George Tsokas? Oh! To be honest, I didn't know he was in Ignite SG. Yeah, I do know. I do know George Tsokas. Actually, I know all of them, but yeah. Gamaron on DB. Oh, this is not Tsokas. George Tsokas is not Gamaron. Gamatron. Yeah, I know Gamatron. He was my roommate in Bologna 24. But how did the conversation come to me? Like, how did he say that he knows me? To you? That's what I'm wondering. Like, how does he know that you know me? No way. Yes way. This yeah, fuck yeah. Come, I'm waiting. Sup?
Yo, how are you?
Cool, cool.
Yes, I was in that. was in testing. We're raiding Typhoon, and I came against a guy called Gamron. And I was like, oh, and then he was like, so I beat him. I ended up beating him, but it was a good game. Good testing. But he said that I was like really, really good. Who am I? I was like, uh, nothing special. And then he was like, oh, you might know us. And then there's this branded guy that's like very good from Greece as well.
Do you have the
He's like
replay?
Ignite.
Can you send me? Can you send me the replay? I'm really curious what he said about me.
Oh, okay. Let me.
Do it on DB.
But
Do it on DB.
yeah, no, it's DB. I know. I should have it here. Give me a sec. Just need to make sure I have the right one. This one. I think there's ways I probably could have played better, but you probably did like very good.
Look, to be fair, this
Uh,
format is unsolved as fuck. Everyone can play better.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I sent it to him. There's the time game one he should be able to beat me, but I didn't think he kept an eye on the life points and stuff. But because I kind of tagged him with Sheena, but
Yeah.
no, it was good. It was good. It was good, like
This is
because I'm not
actually
sure, like
this is actually a build that I want to test myself, like the Dark Lord branded, because I know that you can bridge from branded to Dark Lord. Is something that I wanted to try myself. But the thing is that Dark
mm,
Lord cards by themselves they lock you into fairies and shit like that. So they do have a lot of synergy with Despia, but I wasn't really comfortable with playing with branded and Dark Lords. If you resolve brand fusion, yes, that's fucking amazing. But if
yeah.
you don't, then what are
Can
you
you
doing?
can you stream? If you're able to stream, or if not, I might just go back into the chat and then watch from there. Like, and then still comments still.
You want me to stream on Discord?
Yeah, just to kind of like see myself.
Radiant Typhoon, while it seems simple, I think it's a very hard deck to pilot 100% perfectly. Because a tiny mistake can cost you so much interruption on your endboard.
Mm.
Oh, that was a nice play. If you, why didn't you why did you activate Megala? I thought you were doing it to activate.
No, Magala only triggers off Radiant Typhoon or MSTs.
Oh
It does not
yeah,
trigger off that.
that's right. Then why did you
Yeah.
do Fallen?
So it's more of in case he had it like Izina or something like that. So it was the targets. So then I sent it to go and pop
Oh, you were
the
playing against
guy that
Zuna.
brings it up back. Yeah,
But you hit the
yeah.
monster negate
So
for
I'm
Zuna.
able to send it.
You hit the monster negate for Zuna. It doesn't matter. Like you can just negate it. You can negate Lupis. But think about it.
Yeah, I
If
guess.
you don't negate Izuna, you just negate Lupis, and then you can pop it right away with Fallen Virtues, and this is crazy.
Okay, that's what I probably could have done better. Cheers for
If
that, bro.
if this was if this was any other Radiant Typhoon Master, I would agree 100% with you. But since you have the Monster negate, it doesn't make sense to play around Izuna. Um,
Right.
yeah, that's it. That's just my
Take on it, yeah.
Wait, did he summon?
Like someone does, someone.
No, it's fine. So this should be the card that adds a Dark Lord or Forbidden, yeah. And then
Yeah, that's the bridge.
you activate this on Monday, I assume. Yeah. I will have you a bit muted because we have a lot of background noise.
Okay.
But I will explain to you if something needs to be said. Now I don't. Oh, I get it. I get it. I know why he added the spell. I was about to say why he adds the spell because he can just right away add the monster. But the thing is that these cards have an effect that copy their spells, so it's fine. Yeah, if you resolve Branded Fusion on Dark Lord, it's fucking amazing. And Forbidden Droplet as well. So you Forbidden Droplet for this and Mirror Jade, which is understandable. Okay, he attacks for some damage. Okay. I think he can do here is exactly that. Mirror Jade his thing, because this is negated, so he can still use it on your turn later. I'm actually surprised why he didn't activate Ixel. I think you can argue there is an Ixel line to... I mean... yeah, probably not, right? Maybe not. But since you're playing Radiant Typhoon and you haven't used the other MST yet, you potentially don't have another MST in rotation. And if he read that, then he could activate Ixel with that, draw 2, and this. Oh, it needs a Dark Fairy. Oh. Well, this card should be worth better. Yeah. Black Dragon on the draw phase. This will shuffle back the Mirror Jade, I assume. Yep. Mirror Jade, very good. Oh. You have to wait the whole time. Okay, dude. Yeah, we're gonna have a video with Vasilis very soon. We should film today, and the video should probably come out tomorrow, I wanna say. Maybe Saturday. He does really like to steal your cards. Was call by that necessary? I mean, don't you wanna call by this? Because I understand that for branded, if you wanna like set everything, call by is good. But since you see Dark Lord cards, I think the most threatening card for you is this one. Because if you can get another of this in rotation, I think you pretty much lose with the cards that you have. So I would argue that call buying the Gulgata is better, because I'm pretty sure that because he sent Rainbroom, I would assume that he has another Albaz in rotation. But yeah, it's probably a mistake from him as well to do this. And there you go, fallen off the White Dragon rotation. So yeah, this was kind of interesting of you to just negate the Albaz this way. He does play kinda good though. Ooh, that was a pretty good blowout. Then he can do this, probably on the trap card, yeah. Although you did reset the chant, so I would argue that chant is better than just a draw one. High spirits. Yeah, chant into Eldam. This is a pretty interesting matchup. Tribute Crocea. I mean, couldn't you just MST your Eldam to trigger Crocea? And then... yeah, I mean, I think you would rather do that. But yeah. TB froze. So yeah. I assume you just won that one. Due to how many resources you have. And he's not playing pure branded. So... Wow. Yeah, let's see now what his full combo does when he gets access to Dark Lords. So this should be full combo, I think. This should be full combo. This, summon XL copy, copy banishment, lose 1,000. Add dance, okay, dance fusion into Morning Star. Evening Star, actually. Setting 2 is crazy. And you draw as Blossom. Is this really just the end board and then what? I guess he can copy that to negate this and gain life points, and then you can just change Sina or Fallen. You could also just potentially just activate Fallen right away. But yeah, it will be fine. Okay. Chant into Eldam. That's very good, Eldam. Although Bell does seem kinda good here. Tribute summon. Yep, you did special summon the Swan. Yeah, Bell just kind of fucks you up here. Yep. Yes, full Bravo combo. He opened Bravo 3 out of 3 times. He's so good. He's so good. Silent Graveyard. What the fuck? I mean, fair. It is a quick play. I don't think Radiant Typhoon is gonna play Silent Graveyard. Discard 1 is not what you want, but I understand it. Actually, now that I think of this, Dragontail do play 4 Cyframes now, 3 of them are Delta. If you activate Silent Graveyard on their turn and they Delta you, and you don't have a Monster Negate, then you just lose, because they have instantly a level 8 Synchro on the board, they negated your card that you discarded, and yeah. But this sideboard is obviously very good, and he drew Purulia for turn, which is unfortunate for him. Although if he did resolve that Purulia on your turn, it would be really, really good. Sending... Okay, yeah. I understand, okay. He plays this as well. Yeah, I don't think this is worth playing. Oof. Heavy. And now you talk about me? Honestly, one of the best I played. Who are you? He's trying to recruit you. And I played with a lot. No one special. Good job. He taught me detail. Check us out, Ignite TCG. The sellout. Look at this. What the fuck? Okay, fair. Well played to both of you, I guess. It was very interesting. I will unmute you.
See, I don't know, because unfortunately, I'm not taking Drake at all. I know Drake is the best deck, but for me, I like playing against him too. I like playing into. I know it's like you're like, okay, what the fuck, like, but I like playing into the best decks. If that kind of makes sense. I know KNVS and Dragatel and Radiant Typhoon is the top 3, and I heard from everyone saying Radiant Typhoon is the worst of the 3, but I think it's just because it's harder to pilot. But
Yeah, I think Radiant Typhoon is one of those decks that the more that it exists in the meta and the people know what it does, if you slightly prepare for it, it's gonna be worse and worse. It's like Dragontail. The moment Dragontail started winning a lot of tournaments, they just prepared for it and then it never won another one. I think if you wanna play a deck for Dortmund, then what you should do is obviously check the boxes that it can be Dragon Tail, and how
Mm.
often you can beat Dragon Tail with just the skill and whatever hands you have. Even
Yeah.
with mediocre hands, you have to try and beat that deck because this is gonna be the most popular. Now,
Yes.
this is Europe, so Europe is always kind of the
Different.
yeah, it's really different because if you remember, like Bologna, we knew that Dragon Tail was the deck to build, so everyone was just building for it, and Dragon Tail did nothing.
Yes.
So you could try to go for that, and I think since it's Europe, it's gonna be a good option for you, and a lot of American players are gonna come in Europe playing Dragon Tail. So if you're playing an anti-Dragon Tail deck, like if you build Vanquishal properly, then I think this is gonna get you the best chance. Now the question is, how good is Vanquishal post burst, and how good is it against Dragon Tail? These are the main questions because now Dragon Tail that gets access to Fallen Virtues every single game, it gets access to an Albus Fusion Summon away the Typhoon every single game. The Magician's version puts up a lot of monster interruptions every game. So now the question is, how often can you beat Dragon Tail with a deck like that? Obviously, I know that Shifter exists, but I wouldn't go to a tournament just because I have one Shifter in my deck.
Yeah. Like I have two decks in mind. Like I know Jokata is not one of them, but it's like Radiant Typhoon. I have K9 Bankers though because I was playing it like before this whole ban list and stuff, which I'm very familiar with that deck. So, but when I was talking with one of the other guys, like Fatal or whatever, he said that as a Swiss deck, if you're taking a deck for Swiss, K9 Bankers is probably better
Yeah, for sure.
because like
For sure.
mentality wise, it's just easier to play into most boards. Blah 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 blah. But then Radiant Typhoon, you're just gonna be
It's also very oppressive. The moment you face Vanquishal, then you have to keep an eye on everything. You have to check out the attributes. You have to take a lot of things into consideration, and generally very mentally difficult for the opponent. Like every time I play against Vanquishal, I have to pay attention to everything, and I know the slightest unknown card can be such a blowout that can easily win.
yes.
I only, to be fair, against Vanquishal post burst and post ban list, I only played against one player, which I did end up winning 2-0 and with a worse list. But I don't think that means too much. But you just
Yeah,
have to.
that doesn't represent the deck. Yeah, it doesn't represent the deck.
Yeah. Obviously, we will have some time from other pro players to solve the format before you go into the YCS.
Dortmund.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's obviously good for you if you try to test as hard as you can for the YCS on your own. If you only count on pro players, then you're just never getting out of Swiss. That's why I tried to do
100%.
Bologna.
100%. Yeah. No, I said 100%. You're right.
Yeah. Actually, my YCS deck at Bologna was really, really good, I think. I just played against too many diffuser decks. Like, okay, I played against 6 shifter matches. I got shifter slash fissure slash lethal say every single game, and I won half of them, and I lost half of them. So I also played only one Yami and one 0 Dragon Tail, which my list was prepared for those decks, as I think you should. And everyone left and right of me was playing Dragon Tail Mirrors, and I was really jealous because this deck that I piloted was really good against Dragon Tail.
Oh, the D-mid version kills any other dragon mid version. Yeah. Remember
one
that.
chamber just outs the whole board, but outed. But yeah, I was just unlucky. But I think my preparation for YCS Bologna was really, really good. And I'm considering this year to try to go to Euros this summer.
Yeah.
Which is a bit scary because I would really, 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 really like to play this deck at Euros. Because I really like this deck. Or Branded. But I don't think either deck is gonna be as good by that time. So I just hope I will have a deck that I like and enjoy playing, and that it's gonna be good as well in that time. Otherwise, I will just not bother going, and I will just go next year. Um, yeah, I don't know. Even this period for me, because we don't have a lot of originals coming, it's kind of a dead format, same as Just Hunters, which is really unfortunate because I really enjoy the approach we have on these formats. It's just a pity that we don't have events. I was thinking maybe I should participate in Kong's tournament, as I did in Just Hunters, which I topped. But then I remember that even if I top, then the prize was not that worth it if you don't win. And I had to pay like 20-30 euros of custom fee. So I don't want to go through that again because it does make winning a bit less happy, I guess, because you have to spend a lot of money to just get your half a box or a box of Burst Protocol, which arguably
Isn't great.
it's better than any other set. But yeah, I don't know. It's also very tiring because it is 8 rounds of Swiss, 9 rounds of Swiss, plus the top cut, which I had to play. I had to play 9 rounds of Swiss, 350 people, I think, which is crazy. It was more than my nationals. I had to play 9 rounds and I had to play top cut to just get a box, which I paid a quarter of the price for it. To only just pull 5 mana and that's it. I mean, it wasn't that good of an experience, although it did make my name a bit more famous and I did have the masterclass after that, so it was kinda worth. But since I don't think anyone's gonna come to me for a masterclass right now, I don't think it's gonna be worth at the moment. Because the deck is really solid by this time. The new combos are not that difficult. Obviously, you can have the goo, quote unquote, on some extra deck choices and some side deck choices. The main deck is pretty standard. Like even this, which is not considered standard on Magistus playing Brand Fusion, is going to end up being standard, I think.
Okay.
I know Park is playing Brand Fusion in Magistus Dragontail, but the extra deck feels so tight, and Brand Fusion conflicts with the rest of your deck. Actually, it doesn't, because I thought of this as well. This was my first thought, obviously, and you are very correct to think of that. But then, as I fixed the deck slowly, I noticed that it gives the deck a way higher ceiling, and it takes away some bad things your deck had, some disadvantages. For example, if you go first, the Magicians are very strong. We all know that. The endboard is unbreakable. And you always have access to the Ecclesia and Fallen Virtues. By getting access to these cards, then you can send Alba Lenatus, which is a must play next format. So these 3 cards, you must play in Dragontail, no matter what the build. So if you're gonna play Magicians, these 3 cards you should be playing. So by finding space for just one Albion, the Sanctifier is not that big of a deal, and it makes your turn 3 much better. And also, because Spoon and Zoroa are not very good cards going second, if you go Spoon, then you would most likely add Crowley to push through an endboard with Omega. So this is what you would normally do going second. The fact that you play Brand Fusion also gives you that going second ability that the branded version has, but the branded version going first doesn't end on literally anything. It cannot bridge from Dragontail to branded. And if you just open Dragontail, you are never winning because you're just playing pure Dragontail, which is very, very easy to beat with the new decks, especially Radiant Typhoon, plus a few hand traps, which they can be played around very easily. And I think 6 Charm is mandatory for next format, so if you go first with branded version, you have 6 Charms going first, you have a branded package of 2 branded fusions, and yes, the Albaz is very good, it gets you access to Fallen Virtues, but the thing is that in the branded version, all it gives you is a Cartesia, and that's it. While in Magistus, these cards, first of all, in branded version, you have to play one less Fallen of White Dragon to play the Brick Albaz, which only makes your deck worse, obviously, going first. So now you have 3 Fallen of the White Dragon, which is a full combo starter, one more than pure branded, pure Dragon Tail, let's say, like brand Dragon Tail, and you also have 3 Spoon going first, which is 3 more 1-card combos. And now, if you just open Dragon Tail, like 3 Dragon Tail names, you can do, I think this was the replay. You can do full combo with just Dragon Tails, and that's why I think it is the most optimal. Because of that, I think, yeah, I will showcase. Let's say you open a hand like this, right? In branded version, you cannot do anything. You just set up your traps, you make a Gulamel, and that's it, which is not an acceptable endboard for Burst Protocol. If you go second, yes, you're still playing pure Dragon Tail, but you have the option to go for the Magistus. And the Magistus can break some engines. In branded Dragon Tail, you cannot do that. And even if you do break the endboard with a very good board breaking effects of Dragon Tail, then you cannot end on anything for turn 3 other than the traps, which is not that good of an endboard again. This was 3 Dragon Tail cards. You cannot do that in branded. That's why I think it is the difference that makes the most impact. You do have the same odds of opening branded fusion in this list. So if you go second, if you don't open the the Magistus, you also have the exact same lines and the exact same odds of having that combo. But if you have Dragon Tail cards in this deck, Dragon Tails plus Brand Fusion, what you can do is Brand Fusion and Spoon plus Albaz, not Frixel, if you already have combo. And then Spoon, you can equip your Albion with Artemis effect, go into Crowley with the Albion into Zoroa. So now you have a monster negate for your turn and your opponent's turn, plus a pop, so you can protect yourself from an Ash Blossom on Rahu, or another hand trap, or a Beastle, or whatever. And you have Albion on your graveyard, which means a Fallen Virtus, and just like that, with 1 card, you have 2 negates plus Fallen Virtus, and you have 4 cards, which are gonna be Dragon Tail cards, to set your 3 trap cards and make a Gulamel. So, worst case scenario, if you open the branded version of this deck, not the Magistus, which is pretty impossible to not open the Magistus because you're playing 3 of these, 1 of these, 3 of these. This with some other cards can be full combo. This as well. Plus the 3 card combo that I showcased earlier. Let's just say that happens. If you wanna play the branded combo, then you still end on a way better endboard and more acceptable endboard post Burst Protocol. And if you don't, and you play Magistus, then the Fallen Virtus, sending the Alba Lenatus, which is a must play, gets you a branded fusion, which is a very good push into a board, especially if their board has to be made after pushing your own, which is almost unbreakable. So that's why I think this list is better than both the Magistus and the branded build. If you play both of them, this is better. And Pac was absolutely correct for saying this. And this is why I think... yeah. Why do we need Alba Lenatus aside setting up Bravo? Because you need to have an easy out for Sanctifier, for Secretarian. Because you can very easily activate Fallen, send Ecclesia or Albion, and then summon Fallen, and make Secretarian right away with the whole field. And if they have an Albaz on their own, because some scenarios you have to end on an Albaz if you want to set up the Fallen Virtus, then you can fuse away their own Albaz. So this is why it's so important. Plus, Alba Lenatus is a monster that cannot be fusion summoned, that cannot be used as fusion material. So that means their effects that try to do something like this on your endboard, just do not apply, because they cannot albas fuse with this into a mirror jet, because this cannot be a fusion material and this can just attack everything. And that's why you also play Sanctifier and not something else of a branded something else. If you already have Fallen Virtues, the example I showcased earlier with Brand Fusion, you can go for Albion using the spoon, and you can equip. What you can do is equip Albion with Artemis, and Albion cannot be targeted. So if they try to remove it by targeting, they cannot remove the Albion, and therefore they cannot remove the Artemis. And that's another reason why the synergy between the decks is so good, in my opinion. I know that Magistus kind of look like a noob bait, because generally in the history of this game, the highest ceiling deck doesn't always, if ever, wins. Other than some specific scenarios, because it's too glass cannon. But this is why I also think adding Brand Fusion in this version, it improves the flexibility and the ceiling of this deck, and it's not something that everyone is gonna expect unless this becomes the most standard build. I think that's why. Plus, I really like Brand Fusion, and it also gives the deck a more going second ability, because I don't think, like, what board breaker are you running in Dragon Tail? You're not running any board breakers, because if you do, then you don't have monsters, and the only quote unquote board breakers you should run are the fusion spells. So yeah, and also hand traps are not that effective. Yes, they can be good, but other than these and Bell, I don't think there is any other hand trap main deck worthy. And Bell is kinda mid against Vanquishal. It does nothing. And also against Vanquishal, Brand Fusion is very good. So yeah. Anything else? Any question? Okay, so I'm gonna close the stream because I'm kind of fucking tired. It was very fun to be back, to be honest, and I will do more, both tomorrow and. By the way, on Saturday I will be judging. I will be a judge for the Kongs tournament event at 4 p.m. GMT. So don't miss that, because I will be streaming the event and I will be taking calls. So if you don't wanna miss that, put the notification on the channel. And yeah, thank you for the explanation. Thank you for asking. I really like having conversations with you. And yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow.